Well, tonight, an Indianapolis man with a long criminal history is back in jail, and this time for dealing drugs that ended in a deadly overdose.
Our Ashton Hackman explains how police made the arrest and the impact the IMPD task force says that they're making in this area.
It's another arrest for IMPD's overdose death task force. 9 months after 31-year-old Aaron Love overdosed on fentanyl, police say they've tracked down the man who gave him the deadly cocktail of drugs.
We're going to use every bit of evidence we can find, whether that's through technology, whether it's through phones, whether it's through eyewitness statements. We're going to explore every avenue, and that has been extremely helpful to this point.
Love was found unresponsive at his home on December 21st. Now, 9 months later, Metro Police arrested 33-year-old Liddell Dean for dealing resulting in death. Court documents say police uncovered text messages and money transfers with Dean on Love's phone. When investigators searched Dean's phone, they reportedly found photos of drugs, guns, and bank records linking him to drug activity.
We want to serve as a deterrent, so we want the people that are doing this to know that we're not going to stop and we're going to keep investigating these cases and hopefully serve as a deterrent that they'll quit doing it. And also, like we said before, just to bring a little bit of closure to the families and help them feel a little bit of justice.
Court records show Dean has a long criminal rap sheet, including past criminal cases for dealing drugs. Many of his other cases have been dismissed, but IMPD says the task force will continue fighting the drug overdose epidemic.
These guys are getting better and better at what they do. They're finding new techniques, and they're relentless, and they just keep going after the people that are dealing these drugs, so they just result in more arrests and more charges being filed.
The Indiana Department of Health tracks fatal overdose numbers in Indiana. The state's dashboard shows the number of fatal overdoses are on the decline, but the numbers for this year and last are still being confirmed. At least 130 people in Marion County died from a drug overdose this year, a number likely to go up. In Indianapolis, Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
And Dean is currently in the Hendricks County Jail on unrelated charges. He is expected to be transferred to Marion County to face these new charges. If convicted, he faces up to 40 years in prison.
Tonight, the state attorney general is investigating potential labor trafficking in Bloomington. The nonprofit Exodus Refugee is at the center of the investigation. This is a group that helps people who are seeking asylum and refuge here in the States. The immigrants that they help are already here in this country legally. However, it was earlier this year that the director decided to close that office as a precaution after hearing about ICE agents working in Monroe County. The AG now is sending a civil investigative demand to that center, which the AG says is not an accusation of wrongdoing. This demand seeks information about possible interference with ICE enforcement. The AG's office issued a statement saying, quote, recent ICE operation in Monroe County faced numerous challenges as a result of what may have been a coordinated effort by entities in Bloomington.
Tonight, we're seeing the moment of a shooting in Muncie.
A look at the windows in the white car there as they're shattered by bullets. This happening in the parking lot of a convenience store. And it happened to be just one of 3 shootings in the Muncie area on Friday night. At the end, 5 people are injured.
Our Rich Nye takes a closer look at the new video and the damage done across the city in Delaware County.
The weekend shootings began Friday night about 8:30 at this brand new apartment complex on South Walnut Street. A window in the leasing office was shot out and was being replaced Monday. Apparently a stray bullet after police say 2 men were shot outside. A 27-year-old man was in critical condition at last update. A 24-year-old man was stable. 3 men were sitting in a car parked right here at a convenience store Friday night just before midnight when shots were fired. And the incident was all caught on security camera. The Madison Food Mart provided this video. Watch the windows in the white car as they are shattered by bullets. Police say 2 men in the car were shot. A 44-year-old man crawled to the entrance and waited for help. The store was open. A 30-year-old man was also shot. Both men reported in stable condition. And the third shooting was just a few blocks away just an hour later. Police say a 52-year-old man was shot inside this house on South Monroe Street. He was also in stable condition. So 5 people shot within 5 hours in Muncie locations within 2 miles of each other.
Of course, they're concerning. Public safety is always a top priority for the city, for our law enforcement partners and for the community. Our thoughts are with the victims and their families.
After a mass shooting in Muncie in 2023, the mayor formed a task force on violence reduction. The city told us that task force has not convened recently.
That committee has multiple members that are still working in the community in their professional and passionate capacities, and they're going to continue that work.
Work with perhaps new urgency after a violent weekend. In Muncie, Rich Knight, 13 News.
And we were expecting an update from Muncie police by the end of the day, but at this hour, we have not received any new information on the conditions of the victims or any suspects or arrests. And tonight, the Marion County coroner is identifying a man who died in a crash into the garage of a house on Indy's north side. 40-year-old Anthony Tillman died in this crash. It happened near West 79th Street and Ditch Road around 4 o'clock yesterday morning. We do not yet know what caused the crash. We do know that no one else was hurt.
5:05 and soak it in. Look at this beautiful shot of downtown Indianapolis. What's the weather story today? It's just nice out.
It is.
It's sunny and it's 70 and we've got a warm up headed our way.
Yeah, I was typing out something for the web and I'm like, well, the big weather story is we're going to warm up. That's as big as it gets this week.
That's a good week.
It's a good week. We have temperatures right now in the upper 60s and low 70s, but we do have some 80s on the way. Those will start midweek. 70 right now at Morse Reservoir, 71 Noblesville, 75 Brown County. We have 70 in Connorsville, bright blue sky over Bainbridge, currently 73 degrees. Sunset this evening should be a nice one. Happens a little bit after 8 o'clock. Evening temperatures will stay in the low 70s through 8 p.m. and then once the sun goes down, drop into the 60s. Sweatshirt weather again at the bus stop tomorrow morning. Early morning temperatures in the upper 40s and low 50s. It will be another fast warm up tomorrow. Midday temperatures well into the 70s, and then we'll get a middle and upper 70s for highs tomorrow afternoon and go up from there. 80s start Wednesday and they stick around through at least the weekend. And as we look ahead at rain chances, they are low until perhaps the end of the weekend. We'll cover all of this in the 7-day.